it's Wing Wing and I am back. In today's video, we are going to talk about how being disciplined got me a band 9 in IELTS and eventually gave me the opportunity to come to Canada and live my dream life. And I want to give you some solid example of how consistent I was to go through the whole IELTS journey and make a big turn from IELTS Band 6 to IELTS Band 9 in IELTS reading and IELTS listening. And I was inspired to make this video because I was developing a new skill, and I realized, because of these little things that I did in my early 20s that gave me an extraordinary result. First thing that I did, which is very minor and you can easily not doing this, but for me, I feel like it's so important, which is learning new vocabularies. I have a little scorecard that I always keep with me whenever I do anything. I was just going through the whole vocabulary that I note, and I was just reading back and forth between Vietnamese and English. So I basically got all of the vocabulary when I was watching Prison Break. So I think that the movie covered enough of like normal to high level of vocabularies, high level of like conversation between native speakers. I was learning from scratch. Even though I learned English when I was in high school, it was just about score and I just tried to get through the grades, so I didn't really understand conversation or anything. I was learning vocabulary from movie, from music, and from vlog as well. So I would just build my vocabulary to a point that I can comfortably understand when I was doing IELTS listening and IELTS reading. And at that time, I was working as a customer service at a clinic, and I work 8 hours a day. So if you don't even work or you have like a more flexible schedule, you can make this process even faster. You have to learn back and forth between your own language and English and know how like have a very solid foundation in vocabularies. So that's number one, and I learn it every day. Every moment that I wake up, I remember that I have to check it, because if you put it to your head every single day, every single hours, it's very hard for you to forget. It's very hard. Like even now when I look back at some vocabularies, I still remember the meaning of it. I think it's just the beauty of your brain. You can just be consistent and it's gonna be permanent in your brain. So the second thing that I did was I always plan my day. I prioritize being good at IELTS listening and IELTS reading, right? So every time I wake up, I always plan that I will review this part of IELTS reading. I will practice an hour for IELTS listening, and these are the things that I always think about because I was so obsessed with having a good IELTS band score to apply to go to study overseas. That's why I was always constantly thinking about being good at it and just get to the band score that I want. So I wake up learning IELTS, reviewing my mistake, and just go to work, do whatever I need to do with my life, and then going back and just review what I did during the day, which make me go to the next point. I always delay reward. So I know when life is happening, you also have other things that easily get you distracted from your process of learning something. For example, you have to go to your friend's birthday, it's the weekend and you have a party, or your work got busy and you just don't have time or the energy to wake up early. So whenever it's a struggle, I have to skip my learning, right? Whenever I need to get busy at work, I would just focus on that. But when it comes to entertainment, like going out with my friends or doing something to entertain myself, I always delayed it. I would say I would learn first before I let myself watch a show. I will finish IELTS reading first before I go out with my friends, so I don't feel guilty and I don't feel like I am a loser. So that actually helped me to have like the confidence in myself, because I know that I did something that I set out for me to do. And I think it just build a good self-esteem, and it's also make your progressing. And the third things that I did was staying focused. Whatever I do in the day, whenever I practice, whenever I focusing on which part of IELTS, I was just paying all my attention and energy into that part of doing it. And I feel like if you are doing something and it takes a long time for you to do it, just stop. Don't do it. Just come back whenever you feel like you have the full focus. Because if you don't have the energy and you're just being distracted by something else, it's just wasting time between the two things that you are trying to do. So I would rather focus and spend less time than just being scattering and just like my focus is not good at that time. I was just doing something else. So for IELTS, especially for IELTS reading and IELTS listening, you have to have like a longer focus. Like your attention span has to be longer enough for you to be, like understanding through and through the whole test, because it requires you to constantly focus. I know that whenever you do IELTS listening, it's always good at first because your focus was new, like your brain is just not tired yet. So you have to train your brain to be really focused in a long time. That also the skill that you need in order to get a high band score in IELTS reading and IELTS listening. So staying focused is a virtual, and it's also a habit that you can develop. I was not focused like within 10 minutes, but after I was practicing being focused and extend my attention, I can focus like hours and hours. So this is something that you can train yourself. So that is something that if you are struggling right now with IELTS reading and IELTS listening, this might be one of the reasons. Last but not least, not giving up. I had so many times that my score stayed the same. I don't know what I was doing. I would just think to myself for a few days that I cannot make it and I feel depressed. But I wake up the next week thinking that I have to try again. And I think when you have the attitude of not giving up, you are more likely to find solutions. You have to dig into whatever you was doing wrong, whatever you feel like is not working, and you have to really ask yourself what is not working. There should be a reason that this is not working. So you have to look at it, fix it, and moving forward, try a new method, try a new tutor, learning a new way to approach it, whatever you need to do. I know these things are very minor, but as your days goes on, you don't really remember to do it. So this is your reminder that you need to learn your vocabularies every day. You have to plan your day accordingly, prioritize your practice, and you also stay focused whenever you do something, because if you got distracted, you don't really build your attention span, and you need to pay attention longer in order to be success at IELTS listening and IELTS reading. And the last thing is that not giving up is the most important things, because if you give up, there's nothing else gonna happen, and you're not gonna see any result. So you have to have the courage to look at whatever is not working for you, change the approach, change whenever you need it. It's always about being adaptable to your own like style of doing these tests, because I don't want to give out any video that's showing my approach and like how I do things, because I know for each people we have different skill, we have different backgrounds, so whatever work for you, you have to find it on your own. I'm just telling you that being consistent with these things will build a good foundation in your journey. So yeah, that's all I have for this video, and if you want me to make any other video, please comment down below. And yeah, happy learning, and I hope that whatever the test that coming up, IELTS test that coming up, you will nail it. Okay.